The Milwaukee Bucks have won 6 of their last 7 games, but I think Giannis is going to play his last season in Milwaukee regardless of how this season turns out. There were a lot of reports during the disappointing start to this year that Giannis was not happy and potentially ready to get out of Milwaukee to go compete for more championships. One, I think the season and where the Bucks are at as a franchise is potentially his fault, but regardless, the Bucks have been an extremely dysfunctional franchise over the last couple of seasons. And let me explain why. For starters, in 2023, Mike Budenholzer had a couple of disappointing seasons and going into the playoffs was expected to make some kind of run. The Bucks lost in the first round, but Giannis was hurt during that playoff series. Regardless, though, another disappointing playoff series loss. Mike Budenholzer was fired, and the Bucks hire Adrian Griffin, who I believe was a player favorite and somebody that they wanted to coach them. And I'm talking about the players. Now, during all of this, the Bucks also traded away Jrue Holiday, a core piece to the championship-winning team from 2022. They traded him away to the Portland Trail Blazers, who ended up sending him to the Celtics, but they got Damian Lillard. And while I think that Damian Lillard is still one of the best point guards in the NBA, I don't necessarily think that that was a good fit for the Bucks. And now I get into my main point. The Bucks are extremely old. They have one of the oldest rosters in the league. If you look at their average age by usage, meaning what players are actually playing in the rotation, they're 31 on average. Let's talk about some of these ages. Damian Lillard is 34. Chris Middleton is 33. Brook Lopez is 36. Bobby Portis is 29. That's in his prime. But Pat Connaughton is 31. Taurean Prince is 30. And Giannis is 29. These are the guys that have to make a championship run. And when you get into the older parts of an NBA career, it gets harder and harder to perform during the regular season. And I don't necessarily think that this Bucks team is built to win a championship from the 6th seed. They need a lot of home court advantage series where they're the favorites. I don't necessarily think this is an underdog team. And so now moving forward in where this Bucks team is at, I think Giannis is going to look at this at the end of the season, potentially at another disappointing playoff loss, and think this Bucks team is not getting any better. This is not Milwaukee from a few years ago where you had a 20-something-year-old Chris Middleton, a Jrue Holiday that was one of the best defenders in the league, a Bobby Portis that was only like 26, 27 years old, and a Brook Lopez that was on the back half of his prime. This is now a Bucks team that is all in the back half of their primes, and Giannis is trying to win rings. The super freak part of his athleticism is something that ages very poorly. He is not a Kevin Durant, a LeBron. I do think that he is one of the best players in the league still, probably top 3. However, he will not have the same generational run as a Kevin Durant or LeBron James, simply because the majority of his game is unbelievably reliant on his athleticism and dominance running towards the paint. He doesn't have the dribble package. He doesn't have the shooting to space the floor. These are kind of critiques of Giannis. I'm more complimenting his dominance due to his athleticism. He's like a Shaq, or he's like a Derrick Rose, somebody that is just so unbelievably athletic, it's unguardable. He's a freak all over the floor, offensively and defensively. That's why they call him the freak. I mean, it's insane. But I digress. I think Giannis understands the pressure of trying to win more championships. I think the Bucks may have rubbed him the wrong way over the last few years. Giannis was a guy who loved 2 head coaches ago, Jason Kidd. Absolutely loved Jason Kidd. The Bucks fired him. I think that Giannis liked Mike Budenholzer, and the Bucks also fired him. And then I don't know what went down with the Adrian Griffin situation last year. That was just an absolute complete mess. And I'm not so sure how Giannis feels about that. He might have liked it, might have not liked it. And I'm definitely not sure how Giannis and the rest of this team feels about Doc Rivers. He has gotten off to a very rocky start as the head coach. Of course, now they are on a run. They've won 6 of their last 7, and I think that's silencing some of the woes that this organization is having. But winning is not a cure-all fix when it's just the regular season. Now, if this was the playoffs and they were winning series after series, then I would say, okay, wow, this is changing the narrative about the Milwaukee Bucks and where they're at as a franchise. But this is the first part of the NBA season. We're not even to the halfway point yet. The Bucks have only won 6 of their last 7. It's not like they're world beaters. And I don't remember if I've seen them beat a Boston Celtics, a Golden State Warriors, a Cleveland Cavaliers. They're beating up on like the Charlotte Hornets right now. So I think the Bucks are in a decent spot right now, but this is not something that's permanent. Giannis is going to have to play out of his mind if the Bucks want to make a deep playoff run. I think you look at a team like the New York Knicks, like the Boston Celtics, and those are the teams that are standing in the way of the Bucks, and I don't necessarily think the Bucks are equipped to compete with those teams right now. So with that being said, I think Giannis is probably going to play his last year. He's going to get traded out of Milwaukee. Now the package is going to be insane. We've seen players like Kevin Durant go for like 3 players and 5 first-round picks. I think we'll be seeing the same type trade package for Giannis. So let me know what you think in the comments about this. Do you think Giannis will stay in Milwaukee, or do you think he is probably going to be somewhere else come the 2025-2026 season? Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.